Northeastern had always been my first choice school, and after being admitted into the NUN program, I realized before going to Boston, I would have to spend my first semester abroad in London. Now this is unexpected. My name is Vicky Sarkisian, and I grew up in a small, friendly town in Marin County, north of San Francisco. Drake High School was known to be the chill and hippie school in town, and we definitely lived up to that expectation. However, I knew I wanted to step outside of that bubble and live in a busy city. When the option of London came around, I tried not to ask for people's advice because I knew everyone had different opinions. One day I realized that this chance may never present itself again, and I better take advantage of it. The NUN program soon became the only option I wanted to choose from. After arriving here, everything was a shock. Hearing the famous British accents, referring to pounds instead of dollars, and realizing I lived just 5 minutes from royalty. But I found myself feeling right at home, thanks to my lovely roommates and the great friendships I immediately found. During my time spent in school, I rarely saw the inside of a classroom. Our teachers weren't afraid to take us into the city, showing us famous galleries, museums, and markets along the way. Through the NUN program, I've had the chance to see, learn, and travel through many places in London, the countryside, and Europe. Of course, I saw all the typical tourist attractions around London, but what I found most memorable was the people I was traveling with and the unusual moments that came along with that. During our time in London, we all participated in service learning. I arrived in Sloane Square every Tuesday morning for my service learning at the YMCA. Originally, we heard the name YMCA and immediately all thought, awesome, we're working at a rec center. Quickly, we learned that this YMCA is quite the opposite of that. In fact, it's a charity boutique shop in central London. I never realized how much time, work, and effort goes into running a successful shop like this one. In the back rooms, boxes packed with donations of things from books to CDs filled the room. The employees and managers took their job very seriously, but never hesitated when putting their trust into us to get the task done for the day. I have learned that communities depend on these kinds of stores, people, and opportunities, even in the privileged area of South Kensington. I was making a difference behind closed doors, but I'm glad my efforts and volunteer had an indirect effect. Sometimes the best thing you can do is help anyway, and just know that what you're doing is significant. Over our fall break, I took a train to Paris and flew on my own to Glasgow, Scotland. I got to see my sister in Glasgow and traveled to a city I had never been. I got to experience another culture and learn more about my heritage. Traveling to Paris, I took a chance by going with 3 girls, my friends, but whom I had only known for 2 months prior. Except that was the best feeling, knowing there are people out there that you just connect with and immediately trust. We arrived in Paris only knowing our hostel address and ended up having the most surprisingly successful and enjoyable trip we had ever taken, with, of course, a few unexpected turns on the way.
Thank God.
Being here in London has taught me many things, taken me to incredible places, and has given me a chance to think back on all the people that I miss and how happy I am to call Marin home. But I've realized something much more important. We have so many rare opportunities in front of us, and I find it crazy for any person to sit and watch them go by. The world is much more accessible than we like to think. Because of this, I have found irreplaceable happiness in cities I would have never seen had I not made this decision to study abroad. I have also created unforgettable friendships while discovering the city I have fallen in love with, London.
If what they say that nothing is forever, then what makes love the exceptions? Why are we so in denial when we know we're not happy?